Well, hello everybody. Welcome back. Jiujitsu2000 here today. I'm back. It's December. Merry Christmas everybody. I'm back. I've got an interesting overnighter for you guys. I have a gift that I'm going to be opening in this video. And I can't wait. I've chose this location for a specific reason. It's beautiful out here. I have no idea what this gift is. I'm excited about opening this and finding out what it is. All I know, it's from Savvy 2002. That's my daughter. She's also a YouTuber. This area is beautiful. I'm looking off in the distance and you can see the peaks of Flagstaff. That's the San Francisco peaks, and you see the mountain here on the left and then the little bit of mountain on the right. That can have a plateau area. This is called Sunset Pass, and that San Francisco peak there in the center, that white snow-capped peak, that's Humphreys. That's the highest point in the state of Arizona. 12,633 feet. I've been up there a few times. And I have a goal in 2020. In June of 2020, I will turn 45 years old. And it's my goal to hike that year. So if anybody out there wants to go hike Humphreys with me for my 45th birthday, leave a comment down below. Maybe we can work something out. That'd be fun. Take a look at this old cabin here. Boy, that's some history. So they took some of this sandstone and limestone. They put that down. They cut these big logs and notched them out. This is a pretty large cabin. Can you imagine what it would be like, you know, to build something like that? Such an amazing thing to look at. Look at how they notch those joints there. So the logs weren't long enough, so they notched them to make them fit. And they built it on bedrock, sandstone and limestone. I think that's just an amazing, it's just an amazing piece of history here that we're looking at right now. It's pretty crazy. Here's some, look at the bedrock underneath my feet. Crazy. So I'm trying to think of how big this structure actually is. Look at them. And they just fill the gaps. Here's where they must have had a window at one point. It's just crazy. So this is maybe 12 foot wide maybe 30 feet long. And you can see what appears to be what used to be a wall inside. It's crazy. And then here's some old tin and stuff. Makes you wonder what this thing looked like in its heyday. What did it look like? What was life like out here at that time? Is there any water here? So there's no water in there. What's down in here? Tiny bit of water. Wow. And then there's a pipe coming out there. I wonder what that does. They built like a wall. It's just crazy. Let's go look over here. I got curious here. Oh yeah, check at that. Take a look at that. Okay. So there's some water where the game comes in and drinks. Pretty dirty water. But when it comes to survival, water is life. This would definitely not be my first choice of water, but I would drink it if I had to. Of course, I'd boil it first. I'd filter it if I could and definitely boil it, and it would probably taste terrible. But this is the kind of water that would keep you alive. It's time to make a little bit of fire. Not that I need fire, but I just want to, just for some practice. So right here I have some very small pieces, and then there's a lot of little pieces of wood around here. I have a small tinder bundle that I've been working on. This is not by any means really an acceptable tinder pile, but it's something that I'm going to try to get to work, and we'll see what happens. So in this Altoids tin, I have a steel striker, and I have some good old Arizona chert. So Chief Kirk, if you're watching, this one's for you, my friend. So let's give this a shot and see what's going to happen here. Okay, I have a small ignition down there. Set this stuff aside. Just put it in there and just let that stuff kind of go to work. And right here I have a little bit of dried cow dung. Sometimes this works as a good coal extender. So we'll put a little bit of that in there. And let's give this a shot again. This is a terrible, terrible tinder pile. Not good at all. Okay. We got a little bit lucky, but we're not out of the woods yet. I gotta close my tin over here. I gotta get some of the smallest pieces possible and put them on there in hopes that they'll take off quickly. Small diameter stuff. Don't want to put too much on too soon. We don't want to smother our fire. Again, folks, this is just for practice. I don't really need a fire. I'm just practicing, just working on some techniques. I like doing that when I'm out here. Looks good. Put some of those tiny little pieces on. And if these tiny pieces are wet, usually what happens is if we have some sort of flames, it'll dry these pieces and then they'll go ahead and light. So I'm going to just keep giving it oxygen. I'll put some stuff lightly around the top here. Really open. Let's open this bottom up again. That was probably like the worst tinder pile ever. But it was definitely a good little challenge. I like coming out and continuing to practice these skills. Fire making is one of the most important ones, so that's the one that I practice quite often, fire making. And it works good, you know, for practice when you have marginal material like this, and you still learn to get past that and get a fire out of it. You know, it just kind of builds your confidence up a little bit. Here's this dry cow dung going to go right on top here. That stuff actually will carry the flame a little bit. So I guess, you know, just by looking at it here, I would call that a successful fire. And you can see that I also have a cotton ball in there. And there's my steel. I get kind of disgusted with some people because people have gotten so far out of touch with what Christmas is truly about, and that is celebrating the birth of Jesus. You know, my daughter got me a gift, yes. I got her gifts, yes. But that's not what the whole meaning of Christmas is. You know, so many people get caught up forgetting about Jesus' birthday, and they think that it's about getting their kids this or getting their kids that, or I gotta go get my friend this, or they're gonna be upset if I don't buy them that. You know, Christmas is not really about buying all the time. In fact, a lot of times when I want to give someone a gift, I make them something, or I do something for them. You know, something that if you're a man and you're good with your hands, you know, doing woodworking or something, maybe you can make a small wood project for your girlfriend, your wife, your kids, whatever. And if you're a woman, maybe you're handy in the kitchen. Maybe you can cook your family a good special meal, or do something like that. Or if you normally don't watch the type of movies that your spouse likes, maybe sit down to a musical and cry a little bit for them, or watch that action film, you know, with your man, or something like that. Maybe sit down and watch a football game. You know, little things like that are big gifts to some people. To me, things like that, small things like that, are significant. It's not about what you buy somebody. Our kids are normally spoiled as a default setting, and to over spoil them, you know, got to get them this $400 this and this $300 that. It just doesn't make sense to me. So with that being said, let's take a look and see what this gift is. I've been wondering about it all day. I've been sitting here thinking about it, feeling the weight of it, and I don't know what it is. So let's crack it open and find out. So Merry Christmas to everybody out there. Happy birthday, Jesus. I just hope that you guys, you know, spend quality time with your families during this time. And don't forget about the veteran that might be overseas right now, away from his family. He's out there, you know, lacing his boots and serving his country so that we can have the freedom for people like me to come out and do these overnighters, or people like you to do whatever it is that you're doing in your daily life. You know, so let's thank a veteran. You know, every single day there's 22 American veterans that commit suicide. That's a real thing. And if you're one of those veterans out there that's struggling, you're going through a hard time, you know, shoot me an email. You can do it, man. Shoot me an email, Jiujitsu2000 @yahoo.com. Let's chat. You know, go out, see somebody, reach out to somebody, call somebody. And I guess the reason I'm talking about that is a few days ago I had a friend pass away due to suicide. Wow, this is a charade knife, or at least it's a charade box. My daughter, she's a junior in high school, and she's wrestling this year. She's a female wrestler, and she's the first female wrestler in Winslow, Arizona to place on the podium. She went to Window Rock and took third. And so she made history here for little old Winslow, Arizona, as the first female wrestler to be on the podium. So I thought that was pretty neat. So I was really proud of her. Okay, we have a charade, or at least a charade box. SCHF43. Is that what's in here? Oh, wow, it is. So if I remember correctly, SCHF43 is what they refer to as Jessica X, or used to. There's a YouTuber, Chris Tanner, I think is his last name. His YouTube channel is Prepared Mind 101, and he designed a knife. And he calls it the Jessica X. Anything that he really highly approves of, he calls it a Jessica, right? So he come up with this design, and he sent it off to Charade for them to manufacture it. And he called it the Jessica X. This one doesn't have his logo, but a lot of them did. It says Prepared Mind 101, Chris Tanner. It has a little logo on here. This one don't. And that's because his original design had to be a flat grind with a saber point, which this point right here, if I was to stick that down into a piece of wood and twist, that would give me the perfect divot for a bow drill. That's pretty cool. It's got a nice sharp 90-degree spine. So let me get back to the point. Okay, so this is what they call a flat grind. I can tell that it's not a hollow grind. Now, Chris Tanner, when he first got with Charade for them to manufacture his knife, they wanted to do a hollow grind. And he told them, no, it needs to be a flat grind with the saber point. And they manufactured them. And I can tell right here, just by looking at the tip, that it's not the hollow grind. It is the flat grind. And the reason I talk about these grinds is because there was a lot of controversy when Charade changed ownership. They had, I think it was Smith & Wesson or something like that. So I can't remember the company, but took over Charade. And when they did, they started putting hollow grinds on this knife, on the Jessica X. And what happened as a result of that hollow grind was it made the tip extremely thin. And when they did that, people were sticking these things in stumps and stuff and pulling them sideways, which we're not supposed to do. But a lot of us knife reviewers do that to test our design or to test that knife. And Chris Tanner was really proud that his knife, being a flat grind, had the ability to not break the tip off. Well, Charade sent him all these new ones with a hollow grind, and the tips were breaking off left and right. So there was a lot of controversy between Charade and Chris Tanner in regards to his Jessica X. So yeah, this is a very big, nice knife, and it's cool that I got the flat grind version. You know, my daughter must have paid close attention to what I was saying, because I would have never wanted the hollow grind version. Wow, look at this nice little sheath. It's got, I think this is a leg loop, and then I think this kind of throws like over your shoulder, something like that. I know it's kind of crude here in the tent, but kind of hangs down like that, and then you put this around your leg, and then the knife goes there. Pretty cool. Now, the reason I was talking about these different grinds is because to do a flat grind, from what I understand, now I'm not a knife manufacturer, but from what I understand, a flat grind, you have to take one pass of the blade, and then you have to flip it over, and then take another pass of the blade against some sort of sanding wheel or sanding stone. And so you have to make 2 passes per blade. Well, with the hollow grind, a lot of charade stuff is hollow ground, and that's because they have like 2 rollers, and they'll run the blade through those 2 rollers, and they grind each blade in one pass. So the purpose for them to do that, I would think, is to lower production costs. And Chris Tanner was like, no, we don't. It needs to be a flat grind saber tip and all this stuff. The points need to be strong. So there was a video that he did where they sent him a batch of the new knives that were hollow ground, and he stuck them in the stump and broke off the tips of, I'm wanting to say, somewhere around 15 or 16 knives. And then Charade owns his design now. He sold the design to Charade, SCHF 43. So my daughter must have done some homework, because finding these original ones that have the correct grind on the front are kind of hard to find. And she knew that I wanted one. I think it's a good design. You can choke your finger up right here and get small carving tests. You got like a little hook here so it doesn't fly out of your hand when you're doing that heavy duty chopping. Pretty crazy. So wow, I really like it. Looks like a solid knife. So thank you, Sabby2002, my daughter. I love you, honey. Thank you for the knife, and really good job finding the flat grind. That's pretty tough, because I don't know if they manufacture them anymore or not. And don't quote me, but from what I understand, Chris Tanner, Prepared Minds 101, I guess he pretty much walked away from Charade. So I don't know. I don't know what all the true details or facts are, but that's just some of the rumor mill that I've heard about. Wow, this looks like a nice knife. I'll keep that close to me tonight. Went for a little hike to the car, got my shema, got my coat, and now I'm getting ready to shut the vestibule. I have my candle here, and I don't really need it yet for heat. It's more for light than anything. I just wanted some ambient light in this tent. You know, fire is kind of like nature's television. And that's my entertainment, really. That's one of the things that I can watch, and it eases my mind. You know, I come out here and I can think clearly. I got fresh air, and I get to watch the fire, watch the candle dance around, and things like that. And it's really taken me to a place where I am at my most simple. I was talking to my mom a few days ago, and she was talking about, I think it was my October overnighter. And she said, you know, you were so in your element out there. You know, I don't need a lot. She said, you were out there laying under a piece of plastic, and you were happy. And that's true. That is who I am. And there's a lot of people out in this world that don't understand the true meaning of life and happiness. People get caught up in money and buying the bigger house and a big old truck and this and that. And that's really not what life's about. Life's about loving your family, treating people right, having some honor, and things like that. So when my mom said that I was in my element, you know, with the simplest of things, just laying under a piece of plastic, it really felt like a huge compliment to me. Well, my water has come to a good rolling boil. So I've accomplished 2 things. I got the water purified. And I also got the water heated up. So I'm going to pour it into this nesting cup, or rather this Nalgene bottle outside. Just in case I spill a little bit, I'm not spilling it in the floor of my tent here. That's nice and tight. Ooh, it's warm. It feels good. Let's close this window here because it's it's kind of cold outside. A little bit of wind kicking up. This Pocket Rocket 2 is an excellent little stove. This thing works very good. It's a lot lighter than the original. The original boils water faster, but I will say one thing. This thing cools off way faster than the original. I mean, this thing, when you're done, you shake it a couple times like that, and it's cool. You can put it away right away. That burner head cools very quickly. The pot supports. I mean, I was just boiling water, and I'm already managing the pot supports. It's crazy. Burner head's still a little bit warm. My through night is still charging. It's still red. Okay, that's cool enough to put back in the case. Cool thing I like about this Pocket Rocket 2 is I can put the lighter in there, and I can close that. I can fit the fuel canister and the stove in this pot. They both fit in there perfectly. So it fits in there really nice. And then I can put the lid, and I have a nice little nesting system there. So it's kind of a cool little cook set. Plus I like this recess because when I use the alcohol burners and stoves, like the Vienna stove, it fits right there in that recess perfectly, and it sits right on there. It's got my heater, and that'll last a long time. Plus, like I mentioned, that water's purified now, so if I get thirsty in the night or something like that, I can take a drink out of that, and the water won't be cold either. So I'll keep my body's core temperature maintained a lot. I'm taking my shoes off, and I'm going to kind of relax, get down into my bedroll, and I think I'm going to call it night. I heard some coyotes calling a few minutes ago. I have this through night model TC20 charging, so as soon as that indicator turns blue, it'll be done. But right now it's red, so I'm going to keep an eye on that. Temperatures are good. The low tonight, I thought that it was going to get down to the high 20s, low 30s, but it actually shows to get down to about 24. So a tiny bit colder than what I expected, what I thought, but definitely nothing like last month. Last month I think it got down to like 15 or something. So anyway, folks, I want to say I hope you had a good day today. Merry Christmas to everybody out there. Man, these videos are so much fun. What I'd really like to do next year is I'd really like to get a better camera so that I can do higher quality video footage for you guys. I go to so many cool places, and I'd really like to deliver on a little higher level on the video that I put out. So I'm trying to find a way or a means to come up with some savings so that I can get one of those nice cameras. I'm kind of leaning towards the GoPro Hero 7 Black Edition. So I don't know, that thing's like $400. And I don't really have that kind of money right now. So anyway, I love you all. I'm going to go to bed, and I will see you guys in the morning. Look at that. Pretty crazy. It's comfortable though. I don't feel cold or anything like that. Trying to go to sleep, but I can't stop having a proud dad moment right now. I'm just thinking about my daughter wrestling. You know, at first when she wanted to wrestle, I was not against it, but being a jiu-jitsu guy, I understand what grappling in it is, and I understand the significance of how important your muscles are, and leverage and things like that. And the thing that I thought about when I first talked to her about wrestling was, the average girl versus the average boy at the same weight. The average boy has a physical strength advantage. That's just a fact. Men are designed different, our bodies are, than women. And I told her, I'm not saying that to shut you down or to run you off from wrestling. I'm telling you that because I want you to realize that just stepping in there, you are in a small case at a disadvantage, pound for pound. A man's body is developed and designed different than a woman's body. And I told her, you're going to need to have more leverage and more technique to compensate for the lack of strength, pound for pound, that a guy's going to have against you. She had 6 matches that day in a single tournament. She won 5 of them, and she lost 1 of them. The one that she lost to, she got pinned, and that girl won first. And she pinned 3 girls and won the other 2 matches by points. One of them, the score was 11-0, and the other one, the score was 12-0. It just blows me away. She is really making me proud as a father, and not just as her dad, but as her jiu-jitsu instructor, because since she was a baby, I was always working with her and playing games with her, and making it fun, but sneaking in jiu-jitsu lessons here and there, and that's just the lifestyle that we live. I always say all the time that jiu-jitsu isn't something you do. It's something that you become. And she wrestles not just girls, but she wrestles boys too. And I think she pinned a boy the other day. It just blows me away. It blows me away. I come out here and I shoot these YouTube videos as a therapy almost for me. This is my happy place. This is where I come and I gather my thoughts and I find myself, and this is where I get away from the hustle and bustle of life, and I get away from crazy people, and I get away from the big company that I work for, and I get away from finances, and I don't have nothing on my mind but what I'm doing out here. And it's a really good reset button that I push fairly frequently, and it's a good thing to have. This is my therapy. I keep saying that, right? It's my happy place. And when I watch my daughter wrestle, it makes me very proud to realize or to see that she's found her happy place. She really enjoys this wrestling thing. She's 16 now. Last year when she was 15, her and I butted heads. She was kind of being ornery, and I'm kind of strict, and we did not get along very good. I'm a single parent father. But this year, she's just blossomed and she's bloomed, and I'm watching her wrestle, and Miss Bella came along and her girls, and my daughter and her girls get along, and I'm really happy right now with the way life is and watching my kid. There's nothing that makes me happier than watching my kid be happy and watching her succeed, because ultimately as a parent, that's our dream, is to watch our kid do well. It's amazing. So I'm just having a really proud dad moment right now, and I thought I'd share it with you. Well, good morning. I slept really good last night. Very good. It got a little bit windy there at one point. Pretty good wind. It was blowing my tent all over the place. I was kind of wondering if it was going to stay together. It was kind of crazy. Slept real good. My feet and my hands stayed warm. I didn't get cold at all. So I'm going to fire up some water, get some oatmeal going. My water bottle that I used for my foot heater worked great. You know, my body stayed warm all night long. Never had any issues or anything like that. So I'm going to just slowly heat up a little water. This water is still warm. It's kind of funny. Save about half of it to drink, and then the other half I'll use for my oatmeal. A couple things I learned last night. Basically, I think it would be a good idea to bring a wide mouth bottle for my heater from now on, because pouring the water in that small narrow mouth was a little bit difficult when it was dark. I mean, I had to do it outside the tent in the vestibule, obviously, because I didn't want to spill water here in my tent. But it worked good. But if I would have brought a nice wide mouth bottle, you know, something like this, probably would have been a better idea. My lighting that I used on this trip was the Through Night model TC20. This flashlight worked great. I had to charge it last night, but this is 3800 lumen flashlight. Worked really good, so I was really happy about that. And then my Olight, my H1 Nova headlamp. This thing is awesome. I think I'm going to bring in a model H1R rechargeable because I love these small Olight headlamps. They're awesome. So that worked out good. Like I said, that wind really got to going. And at one point I was like, oh my gosh, you know, is my tent gonna stay together? It was pretty crazy at one point. You know, there's no protection out here for the wind. I heard some coyotes howling last night, but they were pretty far away. They weren't close by any means. So I heard that. Peaches and cream oatmeal. I'm a little bit hungry. And then after I eat, probably gonna pack up and call it a day. I just hope everybody out there watching, I hope you guys are having a Merry Christmas. And when it comes to the New Year, I hope you guys have a very fun time. But I hope you're safe out there. Be careful. Let's not make any crazy mistakes or anything, and I'm hoping that you guys keep it safe. This has been a really fun trip. I've had a blast. These overnighters are always a lot of fun. You know, it's been a pleasure doing them this year. Next year, I'm going to do the overnighters again, but there's going to be a major change, major difference. I will talk about that in a future video. Probably when I update my channel, you know, video for the new year. Channel update kind of video. I'll probably talk about my ideas for the 2019 overnighters. They're still going to be awesome. In fact, they're going to get better. So with that being said, I'm going to start eating my oatmeal. Just finishing up purifying some water here. Don't think I'm weird, folks, okay? This is probably going to look a little funny. But I love the steam on my face. I love that. When you wake up and it's cold. It's cold outside. That steam. It just feels so good. Such a refreshing feeling. Oh, it feels good. I don't have to go to the spa for this. Oh, it's amazing. Oh, just feels good. little bit, about 200, maybe 300 yards away. I'm looking at some antelope right now, some pronghorn. If you can see them or not. There they are. Straight out that way. I don't know if this camera's picking it up or not. Let's see if I can get it a little closer. I doubt I'm going to get that close. These guys are tough getting close to. And they already know I'm here. They can already see me. They're well aware of my presence. They're probably going to turn and take off here pretty soon. The bad part is they're downwind of me, so they'll be smelling me. Beautiful animals. They're definitely investigating me to see what I'm doing, what am I about, what am I. There they go. There they go. Look at these guys. Right behind me, there's some antelope. Look at those guys running. My bright red hat, they didn't like it. They run fast. They're moving out. And there's still a few over here. And then there's a few still standing there. The smart ones have already left. They're definitely on to me. These guys are heading that way. And there's 2 or 3 still standing there in front of me. Probably 200 yards away. Oh, here comes the whole group. Look at them. Wow, that's pretty cool. Cool watching those guys. They're hard to get close to. Look at them. There they go. I hope you're picking this up. I had to hunker down underneath this tree. The wind is just going strong today. But I wanted to take a brief moment and I wanted to say thank you guys for joining me today on this December 2018 overnighter. This was a really fun trip. I really enjoyed this trip. It was a blast. If you were one of the people that had followed me throughout the year on my 2018 overnighter playlist, I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. There was a lot of work that I put into these videos this year, and throughout the year I learned a lot. I learned a lot of techniques that I could use on camping type scenarios, and I also learned a lot about gear. And I plan on doing some follow-up videos in the near future sharing what I've learned with you guys. 2019, I will continue to do the overnighters. However, I have some significant changes that I'm planning for the next year, 2019. One of the things that I'm really focused on very much for 2019 and these overnighters is I'd like to be able to offer you guys much higher video quality for the content that I'm going to be shooting. So I'm right now trying to figure out how I'm going to go about budgeting getting this new camera. I'm looking at a GoPro Hero 7 Black Edition. That's what I want. It's about a $400 camera so that I can offer you guys much better quality in the videos. I'm also going to be making some other changes that are going to be pretty big. But I think you guys will enjoy what I'm going to offer next year. Please feel free to leave your comments down below, and please thumb up this video. Those types of things that you guys do for me help me tremendously, and I thank you guys for them. Keeping up with the comments is very difficult. I have over 1,000 videos and I get comments all the time, so please bear with me on that. I get some really nasty comments from some of you guys about, you know, my intro is too long, or this or that, or, you know, or I didn't respond. You know, it's very difficult. It's not that I don't care about you guys or the comment that you made. It's just sometimes I'm really overwhelmed. So with that being said, I want to wish all of you guys a very happy, very Merry Christmas. I hope that you guys get the opportunity to spend the Christmas and the holiday with your family and your friends, your loved ones. If you have a veteran in your family that's not coming home for Christmas, give him a call. Make him feel good. Being away when the holidays hit for a veteran is sometimes very difficult. So I hope that you guys reach out to those veterans and let them know you love them. Let them know that you appreciate what they're doing. It's for them out there doing what they do, which gives us the freedom to sit around and do what we do. I can come out and shoot these videos thanks to a veteran who's providing freedom for this country. And I also want to say that I hope that you guys have a very fun but yet very safe New Year. And I can't wait for 2019 and what I'm going to offer you guys for these overnighters. It's going to be a blast. So with that being said, again folks, thanks for stopping by. If you haven't seen that 2018 overnighters playlist, please go check it out. There was a lot of work that I put into these videos. And until next time, again, I love you all. We'll talk at you later. We'll see you later. Bye for now. I hope you guys have a beautiful day. We'll see you next year. Later.